Oh no, pixel chat, please. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. Shucks. I forgot to. I made a mistake. I forgot to turn on the voice modifier program before opening up OBS, which means if you get any voice redeem ones, I have to bank them until later. Sorry. That's my fault. That's it. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day has been restful and or productive for y'all. Um, I'm gonna be real. The last the last 2 days for me have been a lot. I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it, but the last 2 days have been a lot. Today has been much better by comparison, and I am very happy. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Cosmos Final Fantasy 14 inventory is a mess. Space started doing that I was about to say, depending on which one we're talking about, that sounds like somebody has already started messing around with armory chest stuff and or isn't throwing out the random tchotchkes that they're getting from killing monsters and stuff. In which case I feel obligated to be like, yo, hey, oh crafting. Yep. That's it. That'll do it. That'll do it. That's why. It's the crafting. Every time. No, I can't even legitimately I can't even talk that. I can't even throw shade anymore. I can't. I cannot. Um now I take it back. Because that I like how Shan buried the lead though. Because Shan literally is just out here talking like, oh yeah, it's just also hi CJ. It's just Cosmo like yeah, like inventory's like all stuffed up. Like no, you buried the lead. You buried the lead. You could have straight up said also like crafting is a thing that happened. Nah, that's clowning. Like y'all, like nah. E- Okay, good. That one is okay. Posted that. That's good. All right, let's be about that business. Um. So yeah. As Nightbot has reminded you, we are still doing Hi Squishy. We are still raising money for Two Right Love on Her Arms. We're doing it all month. Two Right Love on Her Arms, as Nightbot said, is an organization that focuses on support for people that are struggling with addiction and other mental health challenges. Um, we are at $110. If you want to donate, you can scan the thing over there. You can click the link Nightbot dropped off, or you can check the link down in the panels below. $200 unlocks Mega Man Battle Network 1. I was looking peacefully and crafting makes a mess. Got me to mention the crafting process and no, the amount of yarn I own has nothing to do with hoarding. Thank you very much. Y'all are messy. Y'all are messy. Y'all are messy. Just messy. Messy, 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 messy. I did not mess my work that sorry, I hit project finish. And you love us for some reason, right? For some reason or another, somehow or another. I think so. Michael, yeah, Michael's, yeah. I don't know if I think Michael's will probably still be fine. Okay, I can't even say that with a straight face. Maybe Michael's will be fine here in the US, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And that is just mostly because what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a word that I'm looking for and I cannot immediately think of it. It might make it, but it might not. I think is the simplest way to put it. I think Michaels and maybe what's the other one? Blick. Michaels and Blick might make it here. I think that's pretty much what we have left as far as like arts and craft stuff. But Blick, um, I don't know how common Blick is outside of the East Coast. I want to say I might be no. What the fuck am I saying? I literally saw Blicks in California. My brain is empty. Blicks are all around, but I don't know how common they are aside from the coasts. That's the better way to put that phrasing. My brain decided to apparently take a gigantic shit and not actively think through what I was saying. Okay, Blick is pretty common elsewhere as well. There were a lot of art schools and programs. Okay, so I'm not um, completely off my ass. Sorry, y'all. I gave myself a jump scare for half a second because I thought I was accidentally showing a window capture for something and showing it to y'all that y'all weren't supposed to see. But for a miracle, past me was like, "Hey, so the thing we're gonna do is we're going to take the okay, a lot of the Midwest too. All right, good. Anyway, sorry, I was looking at another Discord and just watching people have fun like fucking around with each other. But okay, enough of that. All right. So, there are a couple things I need to do related to Shoot Lancer. So I should go figure those things out. Figure out one thing here. Yeah, how is everybody else doing? I know you enjoyed your on-stream joking. Yeah. How's everybody else doing? Sorry, um, I went immediately into programming related stuff and wasn't thinking about and forgot that uh, I have a chat to look at and also talk to. Sorry, I'm just chilling, crafting therapy was therapy. Yeah, that's fair. Good. Been playing Destiny half the day. Gonna do some dungeons with my girlfriend later after she. Yeah. I had massage therapy today. Loosening up things in my neck and it feels nice. This is good. This is very good. Um, Second. Hang on a second. I gotta. I have to remember a thing real quick. Sorry. Um, Called out of bed after cosplay about to eat donuts. E. Hey Vinka, how you doing? Yeah. Yep. That's. Oh, damn it! I forgot my go live notifications messed up. Ah, damn it! Every time I do this, I forget. Um, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it as the generic one. 'Cause every time I do this, I forget. Uh, okay, that's that. And I think this should work. I'm just trying to do a thing where I'm just trying to do a quick thing where the actual stage number will display correctly, regardless of where you start. Um, Normally, it's not a problem, but for the purposes of like playtesting stuff, I would like it to actually like work correctly. Let's see here. This one. I just need. Give me a second, because I'm sitting here pondering over whether or not I yeah, I knew it. I knew I forgot something. But Okay, good. So all that should be handled. All right. Let's see if I horribly busted something here. Okay, good. That works the way it's supposed to. I know y'all couldn't actually see it playing there. It's a thing that this does sometimes where occasionally I have to like yell at it to make it show the window properly. I'll do that in a second. There we go. That should fix it. Nope, didn't fix it. Hold on. Okay, I literally just have to flash it invisible and then visible again. That's hilarious because those things make minutes work. That would be it. Hold on. I always forget to check the mixer. It's always one of those things. Should be fine now. Alright. Okay, that more or less works the way it does. So the only major thing is that I did accidentally. There was a point at which I accidentally messed with the way that the waves in stage 3 actually work. So I more or less had to um, get creative with bringing it back. So it mostly works the way that it used to, but whoops. Okay, so that sorry, I just saw something amazing and beautiful, and I gotta. Okay, so that's dealt with. What was the thing I actually wanted to deal with here? I can't even remember what it was I was trying to do here. Give me a second. This is how you can tell that the last couple of days have like been pushing some stuff on my brain because it's a little hard for me to like actually remember the things that I was doing immediately. The things that I've found out is that mostly that like whenever I get stressed, um, it becomes harder for me to like actively keep my chain of thought going a little bit. Um, it's not like terrible, terrible, but it's one of those things where I can immediately tell that like my train of thought is continually swerving in directions other than where I wanted it or needed it to be. Um, but it's okay. We get there. We will get there. Okay. Squinting, squinting, squinting. Okay, brain. Okay, brain. Go to. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go to the Notion. Thank you for the hug, by the way. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go to the Notion. I'm gonna look at the Notion. I'm gonna stare at the Notion. The Notion's gonna tell me what it is that I uh, have not been doing, or what it is that I need to be doing, because the Notion has the answers for what's in the sprint, and that means if I look at the Notion and just do the things that it's saying, I don't have to think so hard. Okay, right. The arcade tutorial waves, which I don't know if I need to touch those more. Stage D boss mechanic testing. That's the thing that I really wanted to get at. Okay. So, fortunately, I have a way of doing that without having to go through everything. Okay. So now we're going to come over here and one thing I need to do real quick. Okay, so make those invisible to start. Oh, okay. It's all over here. Okay. So if nope, not nope, don't want equal. We don't want that one. We want it to be greater than zero. So if the stage number is currently greater than zero, do this stuff. All right, got it. Bet. Baller. Cool. Excellent. So basically speaking, I will be jumping back into stage three stuff to go look it over and just make sure that like I've figured it out more or less. But we're basically also going to be working on. I'm going to be testing specifically. mechanical stuff for the way the stage 3 boss is supposed to work. Though right now we only have like filler sprites for the stage 3 boss at present. Oh, right, it reset. I forgot it reset everything, so I have to do this again. You need to come over to the enemy spawn data. You're not. You should just spawn stage 3 boss. So I literally just have a test stage that's just got like one wave in it, so I can like sit down and test individual behaviors separate from everything else. Alright, so let's see here. Okay. And now it's not doing that. Okay. So let me. So it's in idle state and it's not doing anything. Okay. So I need to figure this out. So right now I'm just using a red version of um, I'm just using a red version of the stage 1 boss to deliberately um, just like a filler. This is not what the actual enemy is going to look like. I just need something to hold the place while I work on it. Do this one and then turn down the mix percentage. This way we know that it's a different thing until we're ready to like actually do the other thing. All right, cool. So that's there. Let's look at the idle state. So when okay. So let's leave those two alone. Firing timer start. I make sure to sign. Okay, firing timer timeout. Is that laser? That's a long time. No wonder. All right, let's try this again. Because the main thing is that I want to test the stage 3 boss's behaviors in isolation and then step up from there. Because the waves themselves are kind of like whatever, right? It's not all that important necessarily. All right. Let's take a look over here. Remote, stage 3 boss, laser, her box turned off. Let's fine. Okay. So I'm not getting any errors aside from this thing, which is not important. But this does mean that so basically the behavior that we're supposed to be seeing here is that the after the stage 3 boss comes onto the screen, there should be a delay of time before it fires a laser, right? That's sort of the idea. But right now, the laser isn't firing, and it looks like right now the laser isn't firing because none of this is happening. So, okay. And that's not a one shot, and it's not supposed to auto start. Okay. Let me see here. So what happens if I give it this if statement? So we're going to just take our time and kind of step through and make sure this is working correctly. And this is why right now I'm only doing it in the test stage. Okay, there we go. Much better. Then if and then if you touch the laser, you do take damage. And that's the idea, right? You're not supposed to be able to also fire at the same time, but this is why I'm taking my time and sort of going through the behavior of this thing right now, trying to make sure that I get it down. So we're going to do this. Because if we see the Kendrick scream, then that means that we know that it's doing the thing it's supposed to Okay, right. So that does that. It just doesn't do that thing. Okay. So then here's how we're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Get protected set, and then you start off as false. We're just gonna keep this very simple because doing it that way very clearly doesn't work. So here's how we're going to do it. We're just going to do it the old-fashioned way, where sometimes you just have to get in the dirt and just say, hey, variable, you're going to do this yourself. I was trying to do a fancy thing where it's like, hey, if this particular timer is stopped, then this variable is false, otherwise it's true. That wasn't working. So I said, okay, fine, fuck it, we'll do it this way. Yeah, there we go. That's better. That. Yeah, that's too long. That's on screen. Sorry, I know that the code window is stretched out. I had to move it out of the way so I can count. The laser should only be on screen for about 10 seconds. It's still stuck there, which means that I need to look carefully through the rest of this. So. So laser disable starts at false. Okay, does that. Warning. Okay, cool. We're gonna have to uncomment out these lines of code so I can actually see. Well, not this one, because that one is going to be a problem. All right. So yeah, I will probably circle back around to stage 3 itself after I get at least the laser behavior and the movement behavior accordingly working with it, and I'll do a run through of stage 3 so that y'all can see it, and probably also just a regular tutorial. A major thing that you may note here is that Leona has gone back not turning around when she flies. One of the pieces of feedback that we got recently was okay, so it never switches out of the pre-warp. It never actually switches out of the pre-warping state. Okay, that's the problem, I think. Ah. Okay, that's also why. I see, I see, I see, I see, I see. Leona doesn't turn around anymore, partially because so one of the things that we did get feedback about is that with the way that shootlanzer is designed, even if you're playing out on a controller, it's a 5-button game, right? And one of the things is that there are a lot of people who are like, hey, so turning in and of itself with the way that it's set up right now, a lot of people basically were in. The short answer is functionally that we never had a version of the game where no one could turn at all. The main reason why people wanted to turn after a while was that the stage 2 boss used to be the stage 2 boss would do it and Leona can't, or at least that's the way it initially started out, and people had very strong feelings about that. So one of the things that's the reason why we eventually implemented turning. I was, for reasons that are mostly dealing with the fact that I was being a little bit hard-headed about it, I was like, I don't want turning to be in the game. No, 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 I refuse. No, 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 right? And eventually, I was convinced to change my mind on that subject. Okay, yeah, there we go. It's better. Then by the time it times up again, then we do that. Okay, yeah, that's good. Much better. Much better. So yeah, the whole thing was that because of the fact that the stage 2 boss could turn and Leona couldn't, people felt a type of way about that. And for a long time, I was like, no, you just got to spin and get used to it and move around and all that other stuff. Eventually, though, I was convinced to just get out of my own way and try it. And I did, and that was fine. And then there were situations where uh, basically we've never had a version of the game where no enemies can turn at all. And so, given that one of the major things that we did after, yeah, maybe no, like we were, because the thing is, not no, let me phrase it like this. It's one of those things where one of the things that I think we're trying to mostly like solve down now is making sure that the game's language, by what it tells you, not literally what it tells you to do, but by things that it allows you to do, is as internally consistent as possible. So yes, maybe we could have done it like that, but then it's the things like, well, why can I turn sometimes and not other times? Like that kind of shit is the stuff we want to avoid, right? At least within as much reason as we can. And so rather than making it more complicated in those aspects, the thing that we decided on was just like, at least after getting the feedback that we did, because people were like, yeah, the focus move button is not necessarily bad, but it feels like y'all are tug of warring between two different things at the particular time. Y'all should just do one or the other and stick with it. Something like that is essentially the feedback that we got. Not in like a, oh, y'all are doing this bad, wrong way, but just a, this is something that y'all got to figure out sort of way. And so when we sat and thought about it, we're like, we never had a version of the game where nothing turns, right? Because from the moment that I was thinking about and conceiving the Brigadier's behavior, I envisioned her as a character that moves around a lot and teaches you that you have to like be on your toes, right? And that was an issue, right? Insofar as trying to actually get things sorted, right? So right now, basically, we have a version of the game where the owner doesn't turn, enemies don't turn, stage 2 boss no longer turns. I will demonstrate for y'all what that looks like as like the preview cursor over to stage 3 today, just to have an idea what that looks like. But the laser behavior is working the way that I want it. So let's consider, because I was thinking about doing a movement pattern similar to the stage 1 boss, but the hard part about that is okay. For this one. That actually. Turn those off too. Okay. That. Okay. So we're gonna want to. Ah, shit. I was doing that wrong. Hold on. Gotta undo this. Gotta undo this. Undo all of that because I was not paying attention. You notice it says stage 1 boss movement state here, right? It turns out I never made a separate movement state script for the stage 3 boss, and I was literally about to undo all of the. I was about to start messing up the code for the stage, for the stage 1 boss because I wasn't paying attention. So let's just do this right now, so I don't do this again. Nope, not stage. State. Thank you. state. And we're gonna just do enemies. Enemy state base. Okay. So now we do still want to do this stuff because this boss is not going to move horizontally. Um, we just want vertical movement stuff. And now we're just going to do. I love hearing you think about that because that's something I've cracked out in some games. Which part specifically? The whole thing about like trying to make the internal language of the game consistent in terms of like what things you're allowed to do when. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Basically, it's a thing that kind of came up when we went to the internal language. I don't think some folks consider that. Yeah, like it's something that basically it sort of came more to mind after one of the recent playtests we went to, where it was like, right, it was in the context, surprisingly, of something else, actually. So the thing that prompted the thought when it came up was that enemies, um, enemies basically had such short invincibility timers that, functionally speaking, they you can just like spam shot them to death, right? But the bosses, um, the bosses in the game prior to the change that I implemented didn't follow that rule. You'd shoot a boss, it'd be invincible for a little while, then you have to wait, right? And somebody very recently pointed out, yeah, that kind of slows that slows the pace of the game down in a way that I don't think y'all meant to be intentional, and that's a problem, right? And it was also a thing where it's like, yeah, that's not really the way that like shmups like do their thing, right? Like that's not really the way that like shmups tend to that shmups tend to like do whatever they're doing, right? I know we have an ad that just came up. But yeah, the internal language thing mostly came up as a function of that, right? Where it's like, okay, regular enemies. I'm gonna wait to explain until after ad hell is over for people that are currently stuck in it. Okay, I just need to. Okay, cool. So that's good. All right. So right, ad break is over. Let me finish the thought. So right before the ad was going on, I was talking about the internal language thing, right? So the thing that kind of twigged me to thinking about that again more clearly and sort of like understanding the point that they were getting at was the sorry y'all, I heard a notification. Okay, that's why. Where's that notification? Where? It got me like itching for a second. Right, the internal language thing was more related to the invincibility issue, right? And when I say the invincibility issue, the main thing that I mean is that the bosses would have longer invincibility times than the enemies. And people were saying at the most recent playtest that we did up here, hey, that causes the pace of the game to slow down and in a way that doesn't feel intentional nor very good. Right. And so in thinking about that, and then also hearing the issue of, yeah, we're a little bit intimidated by the fact that like the arcade machine has like 5 buttons and the turning thing feels like it's compromising in 2 directions, especially with like being able to do focus move stuff. They didn't necessarily say, oh, it's bad, but it's like a lot of the feedback that we got was like, it's a lot of information, and also I think y'all just have to commit to one or the other, right? Neither of which are unreasonable things to say. That's kind of like the critical thing, right? Neither of these things are unreasonable things to say, right? And so what we sort of ultimately decided on, right, was that, hey, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to set this up so that we're going to set this up so that it just doesn't, nobody turns now because we've never had a version of the game where no one turns. And similarly, we've never had a version of the game where the bosses have the same amount or no invincibility when they get hit. And we'll see how those things go. And so the end result of that is that the bosses have had their health increased dramatically to compensate for the fact that you can, in fact, just spray and pray at them until their shit explodes. Explodes. Their shit explodes. Oh my god. Sorry. No, I just the way that I said explosives instead of exploded, I just I just couldn't help myself and I just started laughing a lot and I just couldn't stop. Um multiple dis- yeah, the destructible parts thing is something that I would like to happen, but for right now I've turned off the destructibility partially because getting the other behavior is more important first, and partially because, especially doing it the way that I want to do it, the it means that the sprites for this boss, once they're made, have to actually be like chunked and segmented in such a way that like you have the main core of the boss and then the laser parts that the laser can like show its damage being done independently and all this other stuff. And I was like, that's really cool. I would like being able to do all of that, but I think I should be more responsible than that. That was my main feeling. and mostly because I had to like sit and really think about like, oh, I can just actually do current laser does not equal no. Made that too complicated. Didn't really have to think about that one. All right, cool. And then even so, I might eventually change the specific movement pattern because I have to think about it. But the main thing I would like is for the laser to be an omnipresent threat for at least a little while. Even if I intend to drastically like shorten the operating time. The warm up on the laser is really long on purpose. Whoop. Yeah, that's angry. Okay, why are you angry? What are you upset about? That would be why, wouldn't it? I thought I set this up so that these things could grab their own without having the assignment needed. No, I didn't. I should fix that. Hold on a second. I should be able to fix this, I think, if I'm clever enough. Okay, that should do it, right? It's the state machine. I think that should work, so I don't have to do that. Because, yeah. So, yeah, ideally, I would absolutely like 700% love to. Oh, yeah, it's not ready for that. Never mind. Nope, nope. I thought I was being clever. Not clever enough. Nope. I was looking at that and it was getting upsetty, and the answer to that is no. I thought I was clever, not clever enough. All right, that's fine. Sometimes sometimes the way that you go, I'm clever enough to figure this out. This is fine. Sometimes that doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Um, Sometimes you just do it the old-fashioned, and that's the thing, right? I know I talk about this sometimes when I talk about programming a lot, but it's like, right. So here's the main thing about like actually doing certain things when you program, right? Sometimes the solution is not about like the clever like the clever 5 steps deep sort of thing. Sometimes you do need that energy and you shouldn't be like afraid of that. But sometimes you also really and truly just okay, and then you're supposed to stop. Oh gosh. All right. which means it's not. Okay. I think I know how to deal with that. Maybe, let's see. Um, again, sometimes, sometimes I'm going to do it again, right? Sometimes the cleverest thing, like here, I was trying to say, hey, if you don't have a laser, then you're not firing. But sometimes the most straightforward answer is just to manually control this thing. Um, so we're just going to manually set it up so that these things manually turn themselves on and off when they're supposed to. That's what we're going to do. That's the way that we're going to do it. Because sometimes when you try to be a little too clever, the shit just doesn't work. And sometimes the way to do it is just like the old fashioned, I'm just going to put in the switches that just do this instead of making it auto. Sometimes it's just the way that you got to do it. Yeah, the reason why I have to wait so long is because basically, if I want the laser to not get perpetually stuck on the screen, I need to make the timer for the recurring long enough that it yeah, okay, good. Very good. Much better. So yeah, basically speaking, we have to deal with both this part, this part, this part, and this part. The pre-warning, the laser duration, and the post-fire all have to be less than the fire interval, basically, if we want this to like work out. So this is 10. We have to make sure it's like 1.5. Like it had to be something like this, right? So you basically get about like 5 seconds of after the laser is firing, nothing really happens, right? Okay, excellent. Good. That's much better as a pattern. I like that better as a pattern. Let's see here. Um, Okay, yeah, I like this. This is better. This is much better. All right, let's just do duplicate stage 3 boss rockets. Now, so scripts, enemies, script, stage 3 boss, stage 3 boss, missile script. Animation player. So default. Let's adjust this. This. Yeah, that hitbox should be bigger, honestly. Okay, so we're going to keyframe. Yep. So by default, go there. Now, I want to duplicate. This one is going to be downwards. We're going to leave that like this. And then the only thing we're going to do now is offset. Well, I was going to do that, but that doesn't work. So let's try negative instead. And lock that rotation instead. Yeah, cool. So basically, here's the idea, right? The stage 3 boss will fire missiles upward. Um, the stage 3 boss will fire missiles upward. They stay off screen for a little bit and then they come down when they're done. And that's the idea. So let's add a child node here, and we're going to just do timer. And now we're going to call this. Or rather, we're going to say off screen wait. Yeah, off screen wait, and then when off screen wait toggles, move it over and have it go down. Got it. Okay. I think this one should be fine. So now we're just going to do this one. Because now I want stage 2 boss. So Okay, so this is like a bunch of like math stuff, right? Um, I'm gonna grab this stuff. So we're reusing a bunch of code from the actual we're reusing a bunch of code from the stage 2 boss missile on purpose, just so that we can be sure of certain things. If let me see something. Okay. Back to missile direction equals vector 2 dot up. If missile direction equals vector 2 dot down and position dot y is greater than or equal to, because it should be, hang on, I got to do one thing real quick. So one of the other things that's a little bit tricky about, okay, yes, then it's adding. One of the things that's tricky also about game engines you sometimes have to account for is which direction do they count as downward for the purposes of how you're doing stuff. Most times, most games will just follow the Cartesian graph system. So in other words, right, if we're looking at this like those 4 quadrant graphs from school, positive x values are in this direction. So here's the thing, right? Like if you were looking at it as if it were a Cartesian graph from school, you would go negative x direction is over, like the negative quadrants for the x direction are over here, the positive y x quadrants are over here, right? So if you're going this way, then you're going negative on the x-axis. This way, you're going positive on the y-axis. This is true. However, when measuring screen space, and by proxy, sometimes like the way that like some game engines will do this is to, if they're mimicking the way that like pixel coordinates work, then if it's mimicking the way that pixel coordinates work, then the way that pixel coordinates work, the y-axes are inverted. When you go negative, if you're working with screen coordinates, negative will move you up on the y-axis and positive will move you down. So you have to double check that in a game engine first so you know what's what. So in this case, right? Yeah. In this case, right? We want to make sure that our position y is greater than or equal to. I'm going to do a hard number right here. But ideally, I want to replace this with whatever the maximum value of the actual screen is. I'm going to do 720 right now because that's that. But on the off chance that we need to like change resolutions or whatever, I need to make that not a hard number. So I'm going to have to go. Let me just do that right now. Go get screen size. Okay, there we go. OS get. It's OS. Oh, display server. Screen get size. Okay. Display server. Oh no, that's that. I want to get get window size actually. Okay, that's what it is. Yes. So get Okay. That's also true, I guess. You know what? That's fair. Let's do it like this instead. Somebody made a suggestion that I like. So we're going to go into the HUD real quick and we're going to do it like this. I'm going to use, in the HUD itself, I'm going to use, so let's just add a child node. We're just going to do a control, or we'll just do a regular node, and we're going to say that these are screen extent. Screen extent. We're going to do a control here, and we're going to do a control here. Then we're going to say top, middle, and then we're just going to pin that right there. Pin this down here, and we're going to do bottom, HUD. Well, I'll save it for later because I need to just test it even worse in the first place. I'm thinking too hard. 720. Now we're gonna have it queue free for that. Okay. So we're gonna do this first. So missile direction is equal to vector 2 up. If I just need one thing. I'm gonna just do one more export. Export timer off screen time. Okay. Then just do off screen time is stopped equals is stopped true. Then we're going to do off screen time dot start. And then over here, public override ready. Off screen off screen timer dot timeout. So over here, we're gonna just do self-destruct. So we're gonna just do void drop. If player script dot instance is not equal null, position equals new vector 2. Player script dot instance dot position dot x, position dot y, and then direction equals vector 2 dot down. And then there's only one other thing I need to do. I gotta go over this process thing. All right. Public override process. This is what we're gonna do. We just need to take position equals missile direction times missile speed. Oh, hold on. No, I should do it this way. Or I need to have the delta x. If I don't reintegrate the deltas, then this becomes a problem. If I try to set this position directly, things are going to get ugly. So here's how we actually have to do this. I need to be very deliberate about how I do this. So we're going to do vector 2 new position equals position, right? So we want to start with the position that we have. Then we're going to do new position plus equals delta that I call this missile direction. No, I should say that it's delta times missile direction. And then position equals new position. So basically, I have to do it this way so that I start at the position where I'm currently at, adjust it a little bit according to my missile direction and missile speed, and then reassign it. That's the way that I have to do that. Otherwise, things go really ugly really fast. Rockets. Okay. So we got that one. All right. And then we need to come over here to the rocket launcher. And then I need to do this part. Okay. Export. I need it as a this is more correct. Okay, so fire, we want to do instantiate equals rocket path scene dot instantiate stage 3 boss missile script new rockets dot position. All right, hang on a second. I'm gonna go back over to the laser real quick and just borrow its code. Okay, position, call deferred. All right, good. Okay, cool. So then it goes poof. There we go. Because we want to make sure, in this case, that the rockets are not actually parented to the boss. We just want to make sure that it does that on its own. So rocket packed. So two things. We need to put this in here, and then we need to actually load the rockets in here. Okay, and then the rocket timer does auto start, and then we're going to go back over to the test stage. Okay, what did I forget? I forgot something. Ah, I knew it. I forgot something. I'm like, why is. I saw that and I'm like, wait a minute. Something is angry. What have I forgotten? This is the thing that I forgot. This thing. Okay, so off screen. Wait. Good. In my brain, I'm like, I forgot something. 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 Hey! All right. All right. Let's see. Okay, it didn't do the thing. It didn't do the thing, which means that I need to rocket launcher over here. Okay. Firing timer to wait time is that. Firing timer fire. Okay. So yes, if you can read what I'm putting in for debug messages, yes, I am cracking jokes about. I am cracking jokes about. I do like to crack jokes about like the screen. Your debug messages. I said this on Blue Sky once, but like for me in particular, like um, my my preference for debug messages sometimes is just silly shit because it takes some of the frustration out of it takes some of the frustration out of hold on a second. I'm gonna have to now correct a thing because otherwise this is going to be really annoying. make sure that these two things match, or got to make sure those two things match, or it's going to get really upset. Yeah, better to be able to laugh at oneself in the yeah. Like for me in particular, like just kind of like fucking around and having silly names for these things makes it a little bit easier for me to just like relax. Yeah, you gotta have some whimsy in these debug messages. It's the only way to keep going. That's a name I haven't seen in a while. Hi, Diplo Piplo. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. So like I do things like Kendrick screaming or sometimes curse words if I'm actually in a shitty mood about it. Because it's like some like just being goofy about it sometimes is like the only way that like you're not in emotional agony. Um, Sometimes it's just the way that you have fun. Um, uh, uh, I've been lurking. I appreciate you lurking. Um, we're gonna go a little later because I started late, so we're gonna go a little later than we normally do. Um, okay, what I need to do is right. Um, cool. Rocket launcher timer started equals false, and we're gonna keep it very simple. We're just gonna do public void start rocket launcher. We're gonna do we're just going to manually control when this thing starts. And we're just going to make sure we do public and then get protected set. And can it also, I mean, theoretically, yeah. There are probably other ways for that kind of signography, as it were. Um, there are other ways for that. There are other ways to do that signography, as it were, probably. I don't know them, but they exist. Um, okay. So, yeah, as Nightbot has reminded us, 2 byte level on our arms is the thing that we are currently doing charity fundraising for. It's an organization that focuses on support for people that struggle with addiction, mental health challenges. Uh, you can donate at the panels below with the link over there, or if you scan the QR code that you see hanging out in the top left corner, all those things work. Okay, so I need to come over to the oh, I should just do it at the end of entry state, actually. Because, oh, this is so silly. I should have, well, now okay. Past me, you're thinking of these things too hard. Yeah, I literally didn't need to do this in those states because the entry state it only enters into once, and that's when I should do that stuff. I'm being silly and causing myself way too much trouble. Yeah, I didn't have to do any of this shit. I still need the script to be clear, but I should just literally not do this over here. I can just do this, leave this empty for right now. Because if there's stuff I wanted to do in the idle state, I can have it do that later, not right now. In the entry state, I can come over here at the entry state. Comment these out for right now because I'm not doing those. And then we're just going to do very simply start firing timer, stage 3, boss script dot, rocket launcher script dot, I should name these consistently. Start firing timer. Rocket launcher. Laser gun. Start. I gotta name these things goddamn consistently, or it's just gonna bite me in the ass. Which means I need to go rename the stage 3 rockets. God damn it. Just name your stuff consistently. Do it like this to make sure that I don't cause issues. All right, good. And then we're gonna leave this here actually. This is important. All right, stage, test stage. Let's try this again. All righty, go, go, go. All right. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Why did you just go right past? I forgot to set one or both of those references. Probably both. Okay. I should take a second and stop and go down the list here. Right. You don't actually need I don't need either of those now. But I do need. Hold on. I'm up here to this one. That's why. Those two. Laser. Rocket. There we go. All right. You're good now, right? You're not going to misbehave on me? You little trickster? Let's see. Okay, so it is working because Kendrick hollering is coming up every 5 minutes. The only problem is that now it's not getting added to the spot that it needs to be getting added to, which means, okay. If I'm adding it, God damn it. That would be why, I think. Okay. Okay, so Kendrick coloring there. Let's go over to the actual Rockets script. And then we're going to go. I could keep up the Drake jokes, but let me. I have to be a little bit more serious now. Rocket, um, stage three, boss, rockets, drop, spawned. We're gonna do that. I have to be a little more serious with it now. Um, Mark. Now we can get a little silly. All right. No, not. It's getting up. Contents under pressure. That's the name of the game. It's like getting up. It's like Mark Echo's getting up content, like contents under pressure or something. It's like it's a game. It's like a tagging and spraying game, like graffiti and shit. I don't remember what it's called. So I'm bullshitting the name for fun and profit. All right. It's like getting up content, like something like that, like getting up content under pressure or something. Ah. Okay, there we go. All right. That's cool. So it's doing the thing, but the rockets are not moving quickly enough. So all that really means that we just need to tweak the speed. Very, very easy. Stage three boss. That game is one of the most unself-aware games ever. Or is it very self-aware? It's a fine line. It's a fine line, isn't it? Between choosing not to be in on the joke and being very much in on the joke. It's a fine line, isn't it? Inspector. Yeah. Yeah, you need to move. Get moving. Taking too long. Okay. Test stage. Run this again. Oh, and they're stopping. Ah, okay. Okay. I gotta do. All right. They gotta go faster. They gotta go faster. Faster. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go. Gotta go faster. Okay, let's see here. Let's do that. So they actually go up and off screen a little bit. Start the off screen timer. That is the game I'm thinking of, where there's a lot of down this authoritarian dystopic thing, but yay with these very real capitalist products. Yes, probably. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. Um. Why? Why is it? Hold on. Let me look and see. Is there something else I did here? Why is it stopping at that point? Why is it stopping at that point? What did I do? What did I do? Something here seems like it's off because it's spawning those. Okay, rocket directions vector 2 data. Right. Cool. Give me something here. Oof. Yeah, I don't understand why it's stopping at that point. Why is it stopping right there? 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 Why is it stopping? Because it's not even hitting this part. Why is it stopping right there? Okay, let's take this out. Okay. Okay, so they're all there. Why? Ah. Okay. every time I try to be clever and check with is stopped, I always fuck it up. So let's not do that anymore. So I'm every time I do that, it kind of just fucks it up. So it's not. Okay, then, but why is the timer not going off? Why is the timer not going off? I just need to know, why is the timer not going off? You're supposed to start. Why are you not starting? What is the reason you are not starting? Okay. Because basically for whatever reason, um, for whatever reason, the rockets go up and then they stop at the edge of the screen, and then they don't come down, and then it makes my ass itch. I just gotta figure that out, and we're good. It's the only thing. My ass is on fire, metaphorically, not literally. I just need it to come down, and we're good. Those are the three major behaviors I want from boss, and then I can figure out, like, I'll have it like spawn enemies and stuff a little later. I just need it to like. Because you see, it says, like, we get to the part where it says Mark Echo's getting up, and then they stop. Why did the rockets stop moving? Why did the rockets stop moving? Okay, I'm just gonna try this real quick. I don't think that will actually affect anything, but I can test to see if it's like that's the issue, but it shouldn't be. It's that for whatever reason, it stops moving. Okay. So yeah, it has nothing to do with that. All right. Hang on a second. Is this a? I gotta check one thing real quick. My brain is starting to itch me. Real quick. I don't like. Ah, that's what it is. I fucking knew it. That's what it is. My brain. I figured it out. I figured it out. All right. Where is this inheriting from? Bullet. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right. I figured it out. I figured it out. I figured it out. Hold on a second. Let me just double check to see what that does. Godot clear inheritance. Okay, there we go. we don't want visible on screen. We want visible on screen notifier. That's why. That's my own fault. So what happened is that visible on screen notifier is the thing that we need, not enable, because enabler causes it to turn off straight up. So let's see. I didn't realize it until I actually started looking. Silly me. Hang on a second. I gotta check the outgoing signals from this thing. Signals are screen entered and screen exited. Okay. Screen entered. On screen entered. Get node visible. On check. There we go. So the reason why it was causing issues is because, so here's the thing. Godot has these nodes called on-screen notifiers and on-screen enablers, right? A notifier is just for telling you, hey, this thing is on screen versus not on screen. Check. So the problem was that I was using an enabler. And the reason why that's an issue is explicitly because this is designed to go off screen. So because I was using an enabler, the moment it goes off screen, it stopped. A notifier is just like, hey, you're on screen versus, hey, you're not on screen. So that was literally it. I fucked up and I was using the wrong node. That's really all that it was. And I was giving myself agita. All right, it should work. Because I literally just wasn't thinking about it that way. So proof. Yeah. There we go. Exactly the way that I wanted it. Okay, but it should only do that one time. It should only, like, drop should only happen the one time so that it doesn't, like, all right. But we finally got it behaving the way it's supposed to. It doesn't, the animation doesn't turn around, but that doesn't matter right now. I don't care. This might be a little too fast. It might be bullying that it goes this fast, but that's fine. Make sure that it doesn't do it twice, so that we don't, like, shift it over. Okay. We can do this though. Where is it? Get node animation player, play, travel downwards. There we go. Now all we gotta do is just test stage. Boy, boy. All right. I wanted to show y'all stage 2, but I may not have time. I think I can probably pull it off if I need to play. Or rather, I want to show y'all everything insofar as like what the game is currently like now that we're pivoting more toward arcade stuff in full, and I'm like actually looking through the rest of it. And then they never come down. Shit. Hold on. All right, that means that it's time. It's time to put back the silly messages because I don't know. Like, where are you, my friend? Let's just do this actually. Okay. All right. The debug messages are not the reason that like the code works, but again, you just gotta make this fun for yourself. If you don't make it fun for yourself, you start screaming, and nobody has fun. You gotta make it fun for yourself. All right, I think if we can get this, then I can show y'all. I can do a quick run through of the game's stands, and then we should be good. All right. Cool. That works. Okay. So let me just do this one.
Mission complete!
Okay, cool. All right. So let's take her from the top. And then this will be me playing y'all out. And then I'll figure out somewhere for us to hang out. All right. Oh, wait. Did I might have done something. Hang on. Probably by introducing or shuffling around something, I probably screwed up one of the I probably screwed up one of the things. I gotta do this. Screen transition, right? Yeah, I figured. I messed it up. Wasn't paying attention. Target scene was pointing to the wrong spot because I rearranged some stuff. So that's why. It jumped straight to stage 1 because I rearranged the way that certain things were laid out. So internally, it was like, all right, this is the one you want then, right? It's like, no, that's not the one I want. I should check the other stages then. Shit. Okay, then this is actually fine. So, this is basically what the tutorial looks like now. We are leaning totally toward the whole thing with the arcade buttons, right? And making sure that those are pointed out. And you get multiple waves to practice with, right? Oh, and then it accidentally skips to stage 2. This is fine because the stage 1 boss is pretty much exactly the same. Minus the fact that, like, it can actually, like, take hits now. This is the way that the stage 2 boss was. Rather than, like, moving to chase you and, like, otherwise, like, trying to run you down to sweat you out, the main thing that she'll do is she'll track you vertically and possibly maybe a little bit of horizontal movement, but I don't want to mess with that too much. So that's what got us in trouble in the first place. So I do have to obviously like adjust a couple of the other things as far as the I do have to adjust a couple of other things as far as like other stuff goes, but this is basically where as far as this is concerned.
Yes!
Yeah, you know. So yeah. You know, now you understand what I mean. Well, I don't know if you got to actually see the rocket launch, but basically that's roughly the behavior of the stage 3 boss. It may do a little bit more interesting movement horizontally, but I've taken out the damageable parts for right now because, like I was saying in the back chat, I don't want to like layer like we got to do like segmented sprites on top of all the other stuff. Let's get the initial thing out first, and if we feel like doing the split afterward, that's a question that we handle then. But that's the basic behavior that I'm looking for insofar as like the boss itself. That's the plan. So yeah, that's shootlanzer for now. I will probably be going back to streaming it a lot more now that Skycutter is a beast name. Thank you. I will probably be going back to like streaming it a lot more now that I sort of have other tasks to do. So next week, Wednesday, you'll be seeing more shootlanzer stuff more than likely. Things will be kicking off. We're going to be having us a good time. Thanks y'all for coming. Deeply appreciate it. Friday, Fighting Friday stuff. I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing yet, but I will be thinking of something. I remember to check the mail yesterday. I did. Fighting Friday will be Fighting Friday. I'll let y'all know what we're up to when we're up to it. I should be on it. I should be on time come Friday. So yes, please look forward to it. Aside from that, this upcoming Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, more Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. You should come by for that. And the next Wednesday, like I said, more Shootlancer. I'll probably be working on it in between. But yeah, next Wednesday is more Shootlancer. All right, y'all. So we're going to go hang out with Oomst today. Let me see here. So we are going to go raid somebody. I just got to figure out who's eligible for that. All right, I forgot. I can probably now that they've replaced. Well, I guess now that they've replaced it, we can probably use that emote again. That's the reason why I had it blocked because the guy that used to be associated with that emote, he said and did some really whack things, and I remember that's why I blocked it. But I should change that at this point. All right. Let's go to twitch.tv. I feel like I want. It should be Okadrian if Okadrian is on. I feel like. And if he's not, it should be somebody else. It may not be him because he's been doing a lot more like late night streams lately. And he's been busy doing other stuff, so it may not be him. Let's see. Yeah, J Rock is still on cooldown, so we can't go hang out with him. I don't remember who it was on Sunday, and I should go fix that. Pardon me. Sorry. I know that was probably really loud. Sorry. Um, you know what? I think it's been a minute since we've gone to go hang out with Data Dave. So let's. This seems like a Dave. This seems like a Dave day. I think. Um, he's playing what looks like a visual novel called The 100 Line Last Defense Academy. Data Dave is a voice actor, generally all around chill person, variety streamer. You can catch him playing a variety of stuff, but it looks like today he's trying out this game called 100 Line Defense Academy. Day 66 plus of it, not in the literal sense, but the in-game day clock is what I mean. So, give Dave an SJ his raid so we get in there, let him know who sent you. Throw in your favorite emotes. They don't have to be my emotes. Whatever emotes you feel like. Thanks y'all for coming by. Stay safe, wash your hands. If you go outside, wear a mask, be excellent to each other. But not to bigots, racists, terrorists, sexists, anti-queer folks, or fascists. Remember, Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. Reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, New Caledonia, the Congo, the Sudan, all of those must be free. None of us are free to all free. So look out for each other. Take care of each other. And sometimes all that means is that you, when you do each of those things, it doesn't always have to be big stuff. It can just be the stuff that is important to you. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Go have fun with Dave. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Take care. Oh, right. I guess this is the thing I can tell you about the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. It's by the same people that did Danganronpa, so if you're not into that kind of thing, I get it. You don't have to come along, but that's just your heads up. All right, y'all. Catch y'all later. Deuces.